So this is my 1 week review of the iPhone 15 Pro in black titanium. So we're going to start with the design. And of course I have to mention the titanium. So they replaced the outer part of the 15 Pros with titanium. The normal iPhone 15 doesn't have it. And the most obvious thing it does is that it makes it a little bit lighter. It's supposed to be around 9% lighter than the iPhone 14 Pro. And when you hold them in each hand, you can feel a difference. But it does feel like more than a 9% difference. And that's because they spread out the weight more evenly across the phone. The iPhone 14 Pro actually feels top heavy. And that's because of the cameras. Instead of having all this weight at the top, they now spread it out. And as you can see, it does more than just being lighter. This makes the new iPhone much easier to pick up, turn, and handle. I didn't think I would care too much about it, but now it's one of my favorite things about this phone. This phone also has rounder edges now, which makes it much more comfortable to hold. For the people that don't use cases, you know that the 14 Pro digs into your hand, but having rounder edges on the new iPhone does make it feel better. Between the titanium and the rounder edges, this is now one of the best feeling iPhones they ever made. I also like that it's brushed titanium, which does make it look premium. The only downside is that you can see fingerprints on this color, and that's what usually happens when you get the black color, but it's not as bad as past iPhones. Moving on to the next feature, we have the action button. So this year they replaced the switch at the top with just a button, and you can customize what this button does instead of just silencing your phone. There's a few basic options you can do. Apart from silencing your phone, you can also change your focus mode, open your camera, turn on your flashlight, record a voice memo. You can also set it to open a certain app, or choose a customized shortcut. But what I have it set to is to change the focus mode. I usually turn on and turn off Do Not Disturb a few times a day, so it's nice to have that now. Moving on to the next feature, we're going to talk about USB-C. I feel like the best thing about having USB-C now is that I have one less cable to carry. I already charge my MacBook and my iPad with USB-C, so it's nice that I can charge my iPhone with it too. Even all the cameras that I'm using now charge with USB-C, so it's definitely nice to just have to carry one type of cable that charges everything. Also, USB-C on the Pro iPhones do have faster transfer speeds, and that comes in handy for the next thing I'm going to talk about, and that's the cameras. Last year's iPhone introduced Pro RAW, and I took some great photos with that phone too. It also introduced ProRes, but it didn't have any type of log profile. But this year they finally included Apple Log, and that is one of the main reasons I got this phone. This is test footage of what Apple Log looks like on this phone. I'm shooting in log profiles for these cameras, so it's nice to have that in my phone too. I'm not going to go explaining what that is, but if you want your videos to look a little more movie-like, you should look into Apple Log, or at least do more research into what log is. So now we're going to talk about the battery. They did increase the battery just slightly in the new 15 Pro, but battery life for me is around the same as the 14 Pro. I think because it's a more advanced chip, you're not really seeing the benefits of a longer battery life. The battery life seems to be slightly better for some people and slightly worse for others, but overall there's no major improvement on the battery, at least for the regular 15 Pro. And now we'll talk about the display. It's pretty much the same as the 14 Pro, but it's still a great display. ProMotion is nice to have, but it's something you do forget about. Most people won't notice or care about ProMotion. My brother just went from a 14 Pro with ProMotion to the regular iPhone 15 that doesn't have ProMotion, and he doesn't really care. I don't even think he noticed. The dynamic island is also back on the new Pros. Again, it is nice to have, but you do forget about it. They put it on all the iPhone 15s this time. So all these new changes that they made may seem minor, but I do like everything they changed about this phone. I really do like the weight change more than I thought I would. It really is such a nice phone to handle. If you're not sure if you should upgrade, you should check out this video here. If you guys can leave a like, it definitely helps the channel out.